Now, many people, when you talk about Nio's battery swapping station, they only talk about the benefits that it brings to the Nio users. But even cities are benefiting from Neo's battery swapping stations as they help in stabilizing the power grid. I mean, 10 years ago, when the Nio CEO came with the idea of battery swapping stations, this idea was bashed quite a number of times because the leader in this fast-growing EV space, Tesla, tried to attempt it and it failed. But right now, this idea of storing batteries, even for the power grid in cities, it is something that is starting to spike some interest into investors, spike some interest into even the people that are not investing onto Nio. They are monitoring this power grid stabilizer, which is our very own battery swapping stations. I mean, as it stands, Nio has around 2,750 battery swapping stations deployed, and we have seen these battery swapping stations in action, helping cities that were out of power by deploying or taking back the power into the grid, which helped those cities with power. Which helped people that did not have electricity or power to now have power, because Neo battery swapping stations were able to deploy back the power into the grid, which is something that, of course, it's pretty exciting. It's amazing. I mean, the dynamics of the Neo battery swapping station when it comes to the batteries that get stored inside the battery swapping station is that you will remember when you place a depleted power battery into Neo battery swapping station, Neo does not immediately start charging the battery, but rather how the battery swapping stations are designed is that during the time when the power demand is low, it is when Neo charges the batteries inside the battery swapping stations. So Neo is not just consuming power even during at peak hours with their battery swapping stations, but rather during the low demand of power, it can be when people are sleeping late at night. It is when Neo is charging, it's putting power back into their batteries, and then those tomorrow morning that go and perform a battery swap onto Neo, they get a fully charged battery, which was probably charged in the times where most people were not using power. This is how the Neo battery swapping stations are working, or this is how the battery hotel, as some would call it, works. And to know that we have this, we are investing into a company that is helping in terms of power grid, it is something that is pretty exciting. Now, the reason why I'm reminding you about this is that we read that the biggest electric battery maker or EV cell supplier, CATL, is diving into batteries for power grids. So it's diving into batteries for power grids, and this is good news because Neo, like I said, their battery swapping station is already helping stabilize power in China, which to get to see that Neo supplier CATL, or one of Neo supplier CATL, is diving into this, the very same idea that the Nio CEO had a couple of years ago. It is something that is pretty exciting to know that CATL is diving into batteries for power grids, and guess who's already implementing or deploying this kind of services? It's Neo. It is just something that the Neo, it's a company which is set for greatness, man. And the Neo CEO, that guy, it's very, very smart. So many of the people, when they bash Neo, they're thinking, or where they see Neo where it is now, but they don't have an eye to see Neo where it could be in the next 5 years, 10 years, in terms of not only car sales, but also this battery swapping station technology. It has a massive potential. I mean, if already some of the battery swapping stations are already assisting some of the cities by deploying power back into the grid, you and me can imagine the kind of technology that these battery swapping stations will be using or helping stabilize the grid in cities. You and me, I think we are not ready. Our minds are not yet at where Neo could be. But me, when I think the glimpse or the little tiny pieces of where I think Nio could be in the future, it just makes me want to load the boat, increase their holdings, because when Nio is making or is coming with next generation of battery swapping stations, they are not only going to think about their users, or they are not only thinking about their users, but they are also thinking about how they can help the power grid. This is important. It's not just about the Nio cars, but it's also about the countries, the cities where those Nio battery swapping station is. How can they make the power grid performance to be better? That's what Nio has at the back of our minds. And because of those two ideas, Nio users and the power grid, you and me can agree that Nio is set for greatness, man. Right now, we might not be seeing where Nio is going, but I tell you, this is the giant. Nio is the giant in the making, and by the time people realize the potential that lies within Nio, it will be too late, man, to jump in the stock, because it will be extremely expensive. I mean, I'm telling you, there are people that sometimes when they run out of power in some of the cities, Nio is able to deploy power back into the grid, and those people who did not have power, they are able to have power or use the power that comes from Nio's battery swapping stations. This is good news, man. This is just so massive, so bullish, and it makes me want to load the boat to remain long and strong onto the Nio stock, because there's one thing that I know, that, and that is blue sky is coming. It's not just about selling cars. It's not just for the Nio users, but it's also for the cities. It's also for the power grid. These battery swapping stations are there to help the power grid in China, to help the power grid in Europe. Wherever you find battery swapping stations, they will be helping in stabilizing the power grid by bringing in more power when it's needed, by charging their batteries when the demand for power is low, which is good, man. So yeah, man, these investors that are investing onto Nio Power, Chinese government investing into Nio Power, it's not like they have more money, but it's because they see the potential that lies within this Nio battery swapping station, which result in them, of course, putting a lot of money or investing a lot of money, because they know one thing that you and me know, and that is blue sky is coming. So I just thought I'd give you this quick update. Tell me what you think about this. I think these are bullish. These are massive news coming from CATL, and in the future, power grid stabilizers or battery swapping stations will play a huge role. And Nio, knowing that Nio is the leader, it makes me wonder where Nio could be, because you know that the long-term target for battery swapping stations for Nio in China is to get to 100,000, and by the end of this year they'll be already at 3,000, which is great, which is amazing. So tell me what you think about this. Long term will win. That's all from me, and God bless you all.